Okay, so I was originally going to be streaming whenever I got home, and I did get home early, and I also did promise that I was going to be on earlier and be on for even longer tonight because, to compensate for the very short day that I had due to the circumstances of yesterday. Now the circumstances of today is that my internet has gone out on me, and until services get restored, I won't be able to stream. On the other, in the meantime, while they're working on that, I will be recording, as if, during my stream time, as if, I was streaming, and the show must go on. We're gonna get started on the next part of Tyrion Cuthbert, attorney at the Arcane now. And, here's hoping that this gets restored soon so that I can continue streaming my games live. But, let us continue the next part now, and we'll see how this goes. First, let's make sure the game can display correctly. Alright, perfect. Load. Alright, let's recall everything that I've managed to gather yesterday before I forget. So we have constructs that do activate around the academy. They were pretty much put in place by the professor who was killed in what I assume is to be a plot to replace the staff members. Yeah, fat chance of that one. She's dead. The autopsy said it was that she died at 2:01 p.m. Shows no signs of cut or bleeding. And the report did verify that the death was not caused by any poison or disease. There is traces of necromancy and illusion magic. The cause of death is not apparent, but it does appear to be by necromancy magic. Now, let's also keep in mind too, right? Necromancy doesn't also mean to harm, but it can also mean to heal. And because they have it identifiable by class only, it's going to be a shit show to argue, which spell is actually used on the body. Map of the school, which is a giant goddamn corridor from the lecture hall 2B where the scene happened, all the way to the headmaster's office, then the kitchen, the library, where we were being held during the lockdown, and all the remaining lecture halls that we don't even go to, or haven't gone to yet at least. During one of the lectures at Hall 2B, the headmaster was doing an alchemy experiment, and that resulted in a foul-smelling chemical that is still lingering. So the body was discovered by the twins Valentina and Valerie Iannis, who are actually part of the kitchen staff. And according to the Inquisitor Commander Orm White, they were quite hyperactive during questioning. Of course, it was the headmaster who did the lockdown after receiving a call from security, and it had reported that Catherine Bellwether had been fatally wounded. Please note, it did not say that she died, or has not been pronounced dead. And of course, the lockdown system, right? Once activated, the magical barriers are set up across the entire building and isolate and protect each room in the building. These barriers are very strong, cannot be breached by either physical or magical force, and they also block anyone from teleporting through them. So again, once that lockdown's in place, quite literally no one's getting in or out. Now, of course, our victim here, Bellwether, let's just say that, to put it kindly, she's had a negative reputation with just about everyone. And I can only assume that she was aligned with the nobility here because, well, again, they can't even fire her as a result because the academy is controlled by the nobility. Jean here didn't notice that 30 minutes before the Iannis twins found the body, Bellwether walked past him in the West Wing hallway. And of course, being the... I don't even want to finish or say that word within the first 10 minutes of the recording, but she shoved them out of the way, knocked over a vase, which caused it to shatter, and even though Jean didn't say a word, she did yell at him to be quiet. After this interaction, she walked into Ledger Hall 2B. Wallace's spell compendium, which we have here. Prestidigitation, Min Wounds, Illusory Disguise, Revive, Animate Corpse, and Necrotic Blight. He is the only one capable, by the way, of high-level necromancy spells, which did, it did make him a prime suspect in this. There is also a pool of blood where Catherine Bellwether's body was, which is strange because there wouldn't have been any visible wounds if she was inflicted with necrotic blight. Going back to that, this pulls out all of the life energy from the target, resulting in instant death. And it does not wound the target, nor does it leave any physical evidence. However, again, magic can be detected as evidence, so there is a trace to it. Which, again, has to be by class and not the specific spell, which is only going to serve to obfuscate. And of course, Valentina has a magical trace of necromancy on her, which does mean that someone did cast a necromancy spell within the last 48 hours. Now, couldn't have been anything harmful because, again, it's like she definitely didn't freaking die and come back to life. Animate Corpse does reanimate the target, creating an undead minion, and they can only follow the caster's orders. The intelligence is limited and it cannot speak. So the fact that she's alive and talking means she never died. She would have had to have been... Highly doubt she's been resuscitated. However, Min Wounds is definitely the #1 candidate here, because it can mend a lot of wounds. However, it's not a miracle. Can't restore missing limbs, can't revive someone who has already died. For the latter case, that would be the Revive spell. While the results may vary, it cannot heal wounds, and it cannot resuscitate someone who's been dead for more than a minute. So whoever has that Revive spell, they have to be right there, right then, in order to bring them back, or else they are lost forever. And of course, Prestidigitation creates a simple and harmless visual effect around the hand. And as long as they can maintain concentration on the spell, this lasts indefinitely, and this spell is purely fucking cosmetic. So we have our typical cast now, but onto our new one. Eris Ilmater, Wallace Nightgrave, Catherine Bellwether the victim, Theodore Redmond the headmaster. The dude is 88 years old. The judge is, I think, 80, I think? Oh, God. Valentina Iannis, 19 years old. Valerie, of course, 19. And Jan Hughes, 36. So, it looks like most of the main staff here, except for Theodore, does not have any... Okay, professors and the headmaster... They do have some magical abilities, but not these three, so this is going to be interesting. Alright, now that we thoroughly summarized our case, or rather, everything we learned on day 1 so far, let us proceed. first-degree murder, negligent misuse of the arcane arts, and illegal practice of advanced necromancy. We're not gonna do the name and occupation thing again, huh? Alright, boy. Better hope your investigation wasn't as shoddy as last time. It started when the City Watch got a call from the Imperial Academy. Someone was attacked and the whole building was put on lockdown. We set up a perimeter around the area and waited for the lockdown system to deactivate. When we finally got into the building, the prosecutor personally inspected the body and detected traces of necromancy on it. There were no cuts or bruises on the body either. The entire body was clean. With those two pieces of evidence, we concluded that it could only be the necromancer kid that did it. Let's also save because I don't want the game to crash on me. I haven't had any crashing issues, but...
Objection!
Yeah, that's, let's stop it right here.
Objection!
What do you have now, Steelwind? You're not helping. I was walking with my sister in the West Wing when we noticed something in a nearby classroom. We looked over to see what it was. That's when we saw Miss Bellwether bleeding on the ground. His sister tried her best to help her, but the professor had already lost a lot of blood. While my sister did that, I used an emergency communication device to call for help. But it was too late. By the time her bleeding stopped, she's already lost too much blood.
Objection!
Okay. Now you see, this is the first time I got that wrong. Ooh, excuse me. And yet there appears to be no penalty. Hmm. Hmm.
Objection!
Alright, there we go. That one took me a while. Hmm. Like I said, my sister and I saw Miss Bellwether bleeding on the ground. We rushed over to her. I was definitely surprised when I saw her like that. Now that you mention it, I don't know if I saw any wounds on her, but I definitely saw blood. Let me go back now. I just need to play dumb. My sister tried to save her, but she didn't use any magic. Valerie, it's too kind-hearted for your own good. Neither of us is a mage. Both of us held that book the knights gave us. I was caught off guard when they asked us. They almost found us out. The commander was watching us the whole time. He can confirm it. It's a good thing that we were twins, or else that trick wouldn't have worked. Okay, so rather than presenting, then we need to interpret.
Objection!
They handed off the compendium to reset the timer. Well, looks like my internet just got restored, but too late now.
Objection!
What I see is Commander White seeking new employment in the near future. Contains the Min Wound spell. Okay. Hold on, before we do this, now that I got my internet back, I'm gonna switch gears to streaming after I get through this trial day. I will keep the recording and I will have it uploaded to YouTube, but I will resume this on stream after I do this. Here we go. My sister and I were walking in the hallway from the kitchen to the foyer. Then I suddenly spotted the professor lying in a pool of blood in a nearby classroom. Valentina used the communication device to call for help while I tried to save her. I saw that she was bleeding, so I cast Min Wounds on her to close her wounds. But it was too late. I closed the hole in her stomach, but she was already dead.
Objection!
What now? Ah, you got the call from security, not the kitchen staff. Yeah. Illusory magic, that's true. Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that, Arya Steelwind, because Animate Corpse, the intelligence is limited and it cannot speak. So I'm definitely using that fucking clue. We didn't. Yeah, I mean, there was nothing to contradict her, so. Hmm. Hmm. Has to have been illusory disguise. Make the target look 1 foot larger or smaller. Really? I got someone in mind for that. Actually, 2 people. Okay, so my internet ended up getting restored midway through, so I'm going to stop the recording here, and we're going to continue this playthrough on stream. So I will be live on Twitch, and if y'all want to see me live, please feel free to visit the channel. And well, chances are y'all probably won't see this next part until I upload the VOD, but I mean, you know, just in case. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see y'all shortly for more Attorney at the Arcane.